Good morning. This is Thursday, April 9th. We're going to do inclined planes in perspective today. Imagine yourself, you went out on a picnic and you saw a barn way up on the hill, and maybe you saw a barn way down in the valley. We're going to show you the difference and how you do that in perspective. All right, so today we're going to take our perspective knowledge from yesterday of 1 and 2 point and add an inclined plane to it. So if we have, say we're doing a barn down here, we'll start off and we'll say our vanishing point, again, if this is the horizon line, is going to be, we're going to put it right here. We're going to say that's where we're looking down at this barn. We're going to start off with just a rectangular shape that's going to be the side of the barn. All right, and we're going to start just like we did yesterday, in that we're going to make these points go to our vanishing point. Okay, so we have those going to our vanishing point, and we're going to decide how far back we want our barn to go. So we'll make our box. So that's the basis for our barn. But we want this barn to have a roof on it. And when you have a side that's going back in perspective, you can't just measure the distance between here and have the middle, because that part is going further back into space. So what we have to do is we have to lightly connect the corners that we have, and then that will tell us where the middle is. So then we can go back and figure out how tall we want that barn to be. Once we get that done, we can erase, because from this point, if that's how tall we want our barn to be, then we can go to each of the edges of our house. All right, so we have our inclined plane going up. We're going to take it from here, make the top of our roof, take this one, it's going to be parallel, we're going to move it parallel over this direction to make the other part of our roof. Our roof's going to overhang, so we're going to bring it down just a little bit. Same way on the other side. Give it a little roof. Now, most barns have doors, so anything that's going up and down like this is still going to be vertical, and all those lines are going to be parallel. But the lines that are going this way are all going to go back to match at this one point. So we're going to bring it over here like this, and we're going to match it. Now, if we want to have that barn door open so that it kind of looks like people are going in it, we can make another line this direction and make it look like, shadow it, so make it look like people are going in to that barn. And you could have shingles on it, whatever you want, so you have it going down this direction and you're looking downward. Now we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to do one like looking up and see how that differs. So we're going to put our horizon line on this one down here, and we're going to start with our barn up above the horizon line. This is in 1 point. Then we're going to do the same thing in 2 point. All right, so we're going to draw our lines. and make our box. Okay, now we're going to make an X on this end so that we know where to make our apex of our roof. And we're going to put a door and a little window. And again, back to our point. Maybe even having a little bit of hay coming out. Now, you don't usually see a barn that's floating, but this is a barn that would be up on a hill. So if it was up on a hill, you'd have dirt in front of it. And so that part you wouldn't see, but you would still know that you were being able to draw that barn as far as looking up. Okay, those are in 1-point perspective. Now, how would we do it in 2-point perspective? All right, so we'll start off, again, looking down onto our barn. Okay, so we're going to have 2 points, and we're going to draw a barn down below. We're going to start with our line, and we're going to connect to our points. To make our 2-point perspective box. Again, make sure it's straight up and down. Okay, so we have our box. And we're going to now make it a simple barn. Same thing is we're going to take and we're going to connect these 2 corners to figure out where our center is. Make an X. Start with your parallel line, go straight over here to your parallel line, go up high as you want it to go. Then you're going to connect these dots. But this time, this line is going to go back to our point of perspective. This one's going to go over. And we've got a 3rd point. As far as this one would go up right above this line. It's kind of out of the camera. So this line's going up. Then wherever that one matches to would be this line. It's going to be very similar. You can go out and go perspective, or parallel, and then just go down slightly if you want to. But in reality, this inclined plane, both of these dots would go up and match together at a point that would be vertically above this vanishing point. From here, you're going to go back to your other vanishing point. And if we erase the lines that we don't need, you would have the start to your box. You can again put you a roof or a door. These lines would be vertical, but everything that's got to go horizontal has to go back to your vanishing point. And if you want to make it look like it's going in, like the door is going in, again, that has to go back to the vanishing point. So just you have a simple barn that you can get started with. Okay, now, last thing we're gonna do is do one above the horizon line. Last thing for today. So we're going to put the horizon line down below. We're gonna be looking at this barn from above. Actually, we could go over just a little bit further. And we're going to start up here. And we're going to make our boxes. Now, again, we're just making these up right now. If you were out in a field, you'd be doing some measuring to make sure that you've got these angles right. Most generally, you're not going to have a barn that's going to be quite at this angle, but this is just for you to get used to using your perspective. You're not even going to see the roof on this one because this would be looking up and you can't even see the roof. So you would just have like your door and your windows. At a very interesting angle. Normally your points of perspective would be way far out. So when we're looking up, we see like the ground, but you wouldn't see the top. All right, so in review, the difference between a 1-point and a 2-point perspective is that if you have this edge that is parallel to you, then that's in 1 point. So you can see, like you can see the side, or you can see the other side. Maybe if we get farther away, 2-point perspective is when it's turned so that the edge is closest to you. And you can kind of see on this one where the lines start going back. We'll talk more about how to create those lines when you're actually looking at a real object in a later video. All right, well, there you go. Hope everybody is staying in, staying safe. Call somebody, connect with someone, give them an encouraging word, post something on your Facebook, let people know what you're doing, and don't forget to wash your hands.